So guys, since Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is only about like 2 months away, I thought I'd do another Smash Bros. Video. This isn't going to be a normal Smash Bros. Video where I just go over one of the modes in the games and just that. I will actually be reviewing the trophies in Melee. And since I don't think they've actually revealed any trophies for Smash Bros. Ultimate yet, I thought I'd just review the trophies from where they started, from Melee. And I gotta say, this was a rough time for trophies, because this was when Nintendo was porting everything from the N64 to the GameCube, which I call, like, the modern era, and it was rough. They changed a ton of characters, and it didn't look that great. But I'll be reviewing these trophies, and I gotta say, a weird one is the Waluigi one, because they couldn't get Waluigi right, apparently, and those eyes, they're just bulging out, and it does not look that great, but it still looks pretty decent. So let's go from A to Z, I'm gonna go over the trophies I think go pretty bad, and I'll go over them, and let's go do that now. So hey guys, Braneyes Gaming here, and yes, as I said in that intro, I will be mostly looking at some of the trophies in Smash Bros. Melee that I think look pretty, weird and bad, and I'll just be saying, what I think about them. And we got our first one right here, and it's called Alpha, and you know, that name, it's pretty great for this, because this character looks like it's from its alpha stage in the game, which it does say future release, so this wasn't, I'm pretty sure this wasn't the model they used for the official game, but come on, it's just it's 3 squares, and just a head that looks like a panda, and the eyes look kind of weird. Everything looks like paper, which I'm pretty sure has turned into a Minecraft game, but it still looks weird for just a game. It looks so weird for a GameCube game as well. Okay, so we are now on our next trophy. We're going to go over that. I think it looks pretty weird. And this one is Birdo. Now, this one is not the one they used in the N64. There was an N64 Birdo model, but they decided not to use it and instead used the SNES model from the original Super Mario Bros. 2 in 2D. Now, one thing they learned from this game with the trophies is that they didn't use 2D models after this for the trophies in the other games. And I do not know why they use 2D models, because, it looks so bad. And it doesn't work with these trophies. You can't even see it if you do it in the right angle, and it just doesn't work well with the GameCube. It might have worked sort of well with the N64, but it just doesn't work well, and Birdo looks pretty weird. So let's go on to our next trophy now. Okay, so our next trophy isn't aimed at a certain character, but it's just aimed at this series of trophies. Now, we get the regular versions of characters, and this Bowser one is right from the N64, and I don't know why they really had to have these series of trophies, because then we got the one from Smash Bros. Melee, which is a GameCube-made model, and it looks way better than just the N64 model ported to the GameCube. Now, this still looks pretty good, but it doesn't look that great on the GameCube compared to the N64. It just doesn't really work. It looks like it's straight from the box art of Super Mario 64, and it just doesn't work. So anyway, let's go into our next one. So now we got Dixie Kong, the one girl Kong that was in the DKC games that you could play as. Now, this is just a pretty bad 3D model. It's just those eyes, the bulging eyes, come back again. The ones from Waluigi, they're here as well. And it just looks so weird on Dixie. They changed this a lot when she actually went into 3D, but this model, there's something wrong about it. Those eyes, the model, just the pose, it just really doesn't work well. Anyway, let's go into our next one. Now, the next trophy I want to look at is these ducks from Duck Hunt. Now, they just look so weird. Their eyes, they just look so dead inside, and they look just so pasted on, and they just look like literally fake ducks. They don't even look like they're alive. And also, one thing I want to say about the trophies is that this is a really free camera. You can go straight into these ducks, as you see right here. You can just go straight into them, which is kind of weird, but at least it gives you a better view of the trophies, which is cool with Nintendo. But anyway, let's go straight into the next trophy. Nintendo back at it again with using the N64 models, but just putting them on the GameCube. There's not much to say about this one. It's just N64 models don't really work well with the GameCube. Makes it look kind of weird. Well, at least the Smash Bros. Melee one looks good, just like the Bowser one did. And there it is again with Fox, and they didn't even get the date right. I guess that's when the series was first made, but this model is from the 97 version for Star Fox 64, so I don't know why they used the 93. That's kind of weird. And Nintendo backed it again with using the 2D models that Birdo used, except this one looks actually pretty decent because it looks semi-3D unlike the Birdo one, and it has 2 characters, so it makes it look actually pretty decent. Now this one is kind of weird, but I do like the model. It's just the eyes, they're bulging out again, and it just makes the whole model look pretty weird just because of these eyes. And also just ignore that I just switched by accident. These controls are kind of hard to do, but the eyes are just taking up the pupils are taking up most of the eyes, and it makes King Dedede look so weird compared to how he looks in like the Wii, and I think he might be in the GameCube again. I don't even know, but he just looks pretty weird in this model. Okay, now we got King K. Rool, who changed a ton over the years. Now this is like an N64 model port, like it just got a little bit more detail, and porting it from the N64 to GameCube kind of messed up the eyes, and they just don't look as great in the GameCube. And as you can see, most of these models, like, at least to me, don't really have great eyes, and it kind of ruins the whole model because the eyes, for some reason, I just go right up to the eyes, and I think they're like the key point of the model, and it's just, it looks weird. That blood eye just doesn't look how it should. Oh, this model, it's a good model. It's just the size, it's not big enough. Kraid is so big in the Metro games, and it just doesn't look right when he's so small like this. The head looks shrunken down, it just doesn't look as good, the body doesn't look as good, and it just doesn't work as well. Guys, we are scrolling up the giant. Oh my god, that face. Now this model is just, it looks okay. I do like it. It's just these faces, they're just so weird, especially that kid face, that smile. Something about it just doesn't look right with these 2 smiles. And I'm pretty sure this game, I think this game was pretty good. That doesn't even go with this, but this model, it's just the face is kind of ruined it. It kind of makes it look just derpy and weird. Now, we got Marth over here, and this is his standard trophy, and it just looks so dead-faced, especially this one, and the Roy one looks pretty dead-faced as well. It doesn't have any expression on the face, the eyes, they're kind of good, and just standard pose, and it just doesn't, like, go with the whole Smash Bros. Theme, and I gotta say, this model looks good. It's just this with no pose, it just looks so bad. It might as well just be in a T-pose to go with the memes, because why not? Okay, so now we got the Meowth trophy, and this one, it's pretty good. I like the guitar. It goes with the whole Space World theme that they had in 2000, and that game never came out. But these eyes, they're way too skinny. They're way too stretched out for Meowth, and you probably can see it. It just looks weird because of it, and I like the model. It's just these eyes. Come on, Nintendo, you gotta get these eyes right. Oh, and back again with the eyes. Misty over here, her eyes are just, they're way too stretched out as well. Like, if I zoom up in, it looks like it's straight from the anime, and it just doesn't look great on this 3D model like this when they bring the anime eyes into here, and you can see it. It just looks kind of weird to me. Maybe it doesn't look weird to you, but it just looks weird to me, all these eye things. Like, Nintendo couldn't get these eyes right on these trophies, as I said, like, before. Okay, so now we got all of the Animal Crossing trophies, and these trophies, they look like drastically like bad resolution compared to the other trophies, and they just look like they got sprites attached to them, and they just don't look as good as the other ones. They look a little bit low res, but these were kind of beta models, but it's a little bit too low res, and also ignore that I just switched the other trophy again, and yeah, Resetti also sucks, so yeah. Okay, so one thing I find pretty funny is that if we go to the Daisy one, we got the standalone character. She doesn't look that much like Peach, even though she kind of does. And we got the standalone character, but then once you go to Peach, hey, look, it's Daisy again, but it's on Peach. It's like, it's so funny. It's like Nintendo knew that Daisy looked just like Peach, so they just decided to put the skin of Daisy on Peach for one of her trophies, even though there's already a Daisy trophy, which I felt was kind of funny. Both models look pretty good, but I don't know why Nintendo Nintendo did this. It's just kind of funny. This trophy, oh my god, they got the 3D carpet, but the 2D Pidgeot. And it just looks so bad on this. It looks so low res. They got one of those 2D models again, so it can't look that great from Super Mario Bros. 2. And it just doesn't fit with the 3D carpet. They might as well just make the carpet as well 2D, but it just doesn't work well. It really doesn't work well. Now, this trophy looks so weird because it looks like they just put the NES pit from the NES Pit game, Kid Icarus, and they just put it straight onto the GameCube. And we got his expressionless face. I mean, not expressionless, but his just dots, just black dots, eyes. It looks like he doesn't really have that much detail into it. And it just looks so weird. And when you compare it to the Brawl model which you got here, it looks so much different. They put actual expression on his face in Brawl, since he was an actual character in that game compared to Melee. But, you know, I guess you can't get much. It's just, this is the best they could do. Okay, now we got the Pooh model from Earthbound, and all of the Earthbound models except for Ness, they just look a bit too tall. Maybe because they were kind of small in their SNES game, they went straight to GameCube. But, like, it just looks a bit too tall, and it looks kind of weird. It looks like he's an adult Pooh now, and the face didn't really change, so it just looks kind of weird. I think you'll understand what I'm saying if you know the model. And here's another 2D trophy, and I'm pretty sure this is straight from the Atari, if I know my stuff, and it doesn't work well, as you can see. It really doesn't work well. It's just a couple pixels, and it doesn't work in this 2D fashion. Kind of like the other ones, it just looks weird. It's lack of detail, of course, and it doesn't work with some lighting. And I don't know why Nintendo did these 2D trophies. They fixed them in the other games, but this one, I don't know why they did it, to be honest. Okay, now we got this one. This one is kind of like 2.5D, which makes it look a bit better, but it's still just, they should have just made it in 3D. It just doesn't look that great. It could have looked better. This one's at least better than the other 2D ones, which I really hate, but this one it's better. It's a better improvement, Nintendo. You get a thumbs up on this one. Okay, so now we got the N64 Toad on the GameCube, and I could really see why they changed Toad's model in Mario Party to make it so he has like white around his eyes, because the black-eyed Toad does not work well on the GameCube, and he looks kind of tall, and it just, that grin and that black eyes, it makes it look creepy, and I could see why Nintendo changed him later on, and it just doesn't work well, as most of these things with the eyes, they don't really work well. So we already went over Waluigi at the beginning of the video, but I thought I'd really go into depth with this, and if you zoom into this face, you can see what I'm talking about with the eyes. They're bulging out, like, unlike other Waluigi models, they're just bulging out. The mouth looks kind of weird, the mustache looks kind of weird. It just looks kind of weird from N64 to this. Like, they changed it so much for the better, and you can see why they really did change it. This face, it's the cause of nightmares. And now we got Wario. Something's a bit off with this model. Maybe it's a bit too pale. Like, it could have been a bit, like, darker. It kind of looks weird being a little bit too pale. But maybe the eyes, they're kind of just circles, and it looks kind of weird. The nose is kind of weird. But this model is pretty good, except for those little things that I like to nitpick a little bit on this, but it just looks kind of off to me. Like, not that bad, but a little bit off. Okay, now we got wheezing, and I don't have a problem with the big part of the wheezing, but this small part, if you zoom in into these eyes, it just looks so weird. It looks too stretched out, and it just makes it look like a very derpy face, and this is also going to haunt your nightmares, by the way. This is really going to haunt your dreams. And that is it for all the trophies that I thought looked pretty weird, and we are back to alpha in this one. I don't even know, it's like an alpha build like model. It looks just so weird, but anyway, let's go and do the ending for this video, and let's go and do that now. Okay guys, so we are now at the end of this Smash Bros. Melee trophy judging video, and I gotta say, most of the trophies models, they were good. I liked most of the trophies, just these little things with the eyes and the size, and the 2D models, just, I didn't like them at all. Like, I don't know why Nintendo put them in, which they didn't put any of them in the later games, which I thank them for, and they really improved on all this stuff I was talking about in the later games, and this was probably because all of this model changing they had to do from 2D to 3D, and from the N64 to GameCube, it was a ton, and they were bound to make mistakes like these. So I really don't care that Nintendo made all these mistakes, but these little things, if they were changed, it would be good, and they did change them later on. So that solves mostly all of my problems, and just these little things are like funny to laugh at, and it's really not that big of a deal. It's just these trophies. I really hope they're pretty good in Smash Bros. Ultimate. They haven't revealed them at all. I hope they're going to be in Smash Bros. Ultimate. They probably are, but I just hope they're pretty good. And these melee ones, they're not the best. So, anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you like this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you like my opinions, if you want to comment on my opinions, then just comment down in the comment below down in the comment section. And I'll go and reply to it. You can tell me your thoughts about these trophies, if you like them or not. And yeah, that's really it for this video. So anyway, guys, I can't wait for Smash Ultimate to come out. I'll probably make videos on that. And anyway, guys, I'll see you next video. Bye.